was the Attorney General that decided to list these two principal conclusions in his 4-page letter and have those conclusions be conclusions about whether crimes were committed. The appointment of Robert Mueller was not restricted to determining whether there was evidence of crimes. In fact, crimes are only mentioned in Part C of the appointments that says if the special counsel believes it is necessary and appropriate, the special counsel is authorized to prosecute federal crimes arising from the investigation of these matters, referring back to the 3 matters he was told to investigate, including most particularly any links and or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the campaign of President Donald Trump. So I don't know, it is unclear to me whether AG Barr focused on these 2 conclusions about crimes because he thought those were the principal conclusions, or whether Mueller actually calls those his principal conclusions. Now, Barr does say the special counsel's report is divided into 2 parts and describes them, and he does at one point says the report explains that a primary consideration for the special counsel's investigation was whether there was a criminal conspiracy. But, you know, that's a primary consideration. So my point is, if and when the substance of this report is made available to Congress, there could be a lot in there that goes to the very things that Congressman Schiff and many, many others on the Hill, and I think in America, are interested to know about, that were part of the mandate. And, you know, particularly in the situation where the president is, you know, running for re-election for the ultimate position of trust for the American people, it's very different than an ordinary person who might be investigated by the grand jury as to whether that person committed a crime. And if the conclusion is he did not, there's all kinds of good reasons to keep that investigation secret. We don't want to unnecessarily and unfairly taint the person who's been investigated when the prosecutor decides there's no crime. You don't want to expose witnesses and evidence and put other people, you know, in compromised positions. That kind of reasoning certainly, I think, doesn't apply where you're talking about somebody who's running for re-election to the highest office in this country and needs to have the trust and faith of the American people in the course of that. And they are entitled, I think, as Congressman Schiff said, and I think really, I know this is going to sound just foolhardy for me, it really should be bipartisan, that people should know what kind of behavior is concerning when it comes to, you know, relations with one of this country's greatest adversaries, Russia. People are entitled to know those relationships, even if they didn't rise to the level of a crime.